streams are live.
Such a heavy sleeper, feeling for forever when it's seeding time for a touchdown. Tell me when I can go, throw me a new curveball. It's a turning sign, and I don't care at all. I've been waiting for something is nothing at all, and I don't care at all. I've been waiting for something is nothing at all.
Get ready to go live. Good morning, everyone. All systems go. This is how the body heats. Live at Facebook, Twitch, Periscope. We are live.
I'm fortune stranger, life in a mirror, changeable weather when it's seeding time. When it's seeding
This is how the body heats.
time.
All broadcast preparations in full effect.
When it's seeding time.
Good morning. Good morning.
Wake up, it's a brand new day. Let's get down on the good news train. Have your morning coffee with Mario every Monday. Get the 311 before the morning's done. Laugh until you cry. You can always rely on morning coffee with Mario every Monday. Morning coffee with Mario.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning. I like beer. What can I say? After a weekend that's been crazy like it was with the news from the Kavanaugh hearing and that phrase that rings out over and over again, I like beer. I like beer. So what can I say? Good morning. Here with my partner in crime, everybody. Give it up for Victor Allen over there.
What's up, man?
Working three switchers. Vic, it's October.
Yeah.
It's October, you all. It's fall. I mean, officially it was fall, I believe, on the 22nd of September, but now for sure it's fall. And so a lot of things were happening because of that fall. There's a change in the seasons, and there's a change in the perspective. For one, it seems to be that coming with this fall season is a new sense of love. A new sense of love, and we've noticed it because one of the love affairs that's most in the news is that between the president and Kim Jong-un.
Yeah. Nice.
It's a time for love. You know what? Because and we understand, Mr. President, you know, both of you have the same kind of a vibe. But look, let's take a listen to the president as he explains.
When I did it, and I was really being tough, and so was he, and we would go back and forth, and then we fell in love. No, really. He wrote me beautiful letters. And they're great letters. We fell in love. But you know what? Now they'll make...
I don't know, but I'm optimistic. Now, different people over the weekend have had their views of this love relationship, Vic, and I want to show you a couple of them. Here's one view.
You know what? What are you trying to infer?
That's one. That is the actually.
What are you inferring?
That's the
man?
Republican view of the situation. The Democrats actually looked at it this way.
You know what? All right. Okay. You know what? They got you on file. You know that, right? You're on file right now. I'd rather go into another subject.
I like beer. So it's going to be a crazy show this morning, you guys. We've got a bunch of stuff. I'm celebrating the fact that it's October, and at the end of this month we get to act a damn fool. For one, I don't know if you all realize, but at the end of October we have the coming of the Great Pumpkin. And I want you to know that I celebrate this yearly, the Great Pumpkin. And I'm looking forward to the arrival of the Great Pumpkin, along with Halloween, where most of you use it as an excuse to act a damn fool. So we know what's coming up.
You gonna walk the streets of Hollywood like you did with our friends? Oh, I don't want to go there. You know, you gonna request Pimp Fried Rice to walk the streets of Hollywood with you again?
That's a good idea. Are you listening to that, Candace Renee Rice? Are you willing to walk the streets of Hollywood with us again? And if you have time to get ready. Well, meanwhile, I'll be getting ready for the arrival of the Great Pumpkin.
Yo, if you say so, man. If you say so.
Oh, my phone is ringing, Dick.
It's okay. In the meantime, Mark got a joke for you.
Uh-oh.
All right, I want you to tell me if you're smart enough to get this, then you win the prize of the day. You ready? It's not a joke. It's more of a riddle. Here it is. I want to do this. What is this?
What is that? I don't know. What is that?
A drunk asteroid. There you go. That's mine for the day. Give me some claps.
Ooh, where is that?
Give me some claps, man. Give me some claps.
That's terrible.
Anything to get off of the Trump thing, man. I'll do anything to get off the Trump. No, not
What is
it. Not
that?
anything.
Well, okay. No,
Not anything. No.
Well, let me turn on my do not disturb. Okay, do not. Okay, because I have a couple more things. You know, because listen, it's a matter what comes across my desk, okay? And sometimes stuff comes across my desk. And so, you know, I don't know what to make of it in entirety. But there's been a parody going on that everybody's been playing a lot in the social media network, and I'm going to show it to you right now. And it does still revolve around the nominations,
Right.
but let's take a look. Let's take a look and see if I can get this one.
Check out the big brain on Brad.
It's the #1 law school in the country.
Okay, hold on. Here we go.
You're Brett, right?
Correct.
I thought so.
I got into Yale Law School.
Check out the big brain on Brad.
It's the #1 law school in the country.
You're a smart motherfucker. That's right.
I still like beer.
You mind if I have some of your tasty beverage to wash this down?
Sometimes I had too many beers, but I did not drink beer to the point of blacking out, and I never sexually assaulted
Yes,
anyone.
you did. Yes, you did, Brett.
He is warm, friendly, unassuming. He's the nicest person.
I don't remember asking you a goddamn thing. Oh, I'm sorry. Did I break your concentration?
You know.
Oh man, this thing, see, I can't even show you the.
Hey, you did a good job.
But it's on Facebook. That's
I
one of
know.
the big parodies. Everybody's loving that.
Yeah,
right?
everybody. Yeah, the Lindsey Graham response is for me. That's the one for me, man. I got it. That's priceless for me.
Well, they're weighing in. I want you to
I
know.
love
They're weighing in social media, you guys. They're weighing in. Vic, we're seeing it now. Even on your Eric Black is writing in, and PMC is writing in, and they all are saying they like beer.
Yeah. I'll leave that alone. Hey, before I came down here, to help you with your Well, not a help. You don't need any help. To assist you with further
I do
information.
need help, Vic.
You had Trump actually addressing the Brett Kavanaugh thing and correlating that he's never had a beer in his whole life. He says, I've never drank, never touched it. Believe it?
Where's my sound effect?
That's just, you know what? There must be a correlation. I'm not sure.
There must be. Okay, now the correlation is the one thing I've learned, Vic, in these recent days is people love old Facebook pics and funny animals. That's the thing. They love funny animals, and so I'm trying to bring them a bunch of. Here's the other resident funny animal.
Oh, that's my favorite.
Come on, y'all.
That's just wrong.
That's easy. Yes. That's how you sound about it, Pete. Yeah.
That's just wrong.
Crazy animal videos. Getting you moving this morning. Get your ass up. Come on. Stretch those weary bones. Yes. Gotta give it up, you guys.
I think you're setting this up
I am setting you up
because you said animals.
well,
There's some not so animals in there, right? So you're trying to IQ check?
it's like I say, I keep you on your toes.
Okay, that's what I want to make sure of.
So we learned so far, I've been learning lately that the thing you guys like best besides the animal pictures is old photos. So Vic, take a look. I posted these old photos of mine. Let's see if is there a,
Wow.
yeah, there it is, okay. I posted these old photos of mine. You guess we can't get them in the,
Be interesting what year that is.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure what year that is. I know that I was substantially healthier. It's funny. One of the people who wrote said you were cute and fluffy, and I said, that's a term a friend of mine used to use. There we go again.
Yeah.
Cute and fluffy.
Okay.
This is at Kaiser,
Right.
in my Kaiser garb emergency room
Okay.
at night. So old pictures. Now, what are the other old pictures? Controversial, Vic. It's controversial.
What is that?
But I put up a picture. I put up a photo. I said, here's a photo of me in love back in the day.
Okay. Are you trying to say? All right, back in. Okay.
Back in the, well, you guys, can you see it?
Oh, they can see it. I mean,
So people were like, damn. I said, well, it was back in the day, and since y'all seem to love the old photos the most, that was me, about 250 pounds.
Wow.
Back in the day, and in love. So,
Wow.
So,
Okay. All right. I'm not saying anything. You get, everybody goes like, see, this is what people do. They go, so you're not going to elaborate on more of the information. We just see a picture. We don't get a history. We don't get.
No,
nothing.
you don't get no
See,
history.
that's what I'm saying. It's relative.
Damn it, you don't get no history. That's enough.
See, the thing is, would you say she's in a happy life right now?
Well, I hope so.
See, this is what
I don't know what kind of life she's
see,
in.
what would you put in the pictures?
I don't know. I'm not trying to out them.
No, but wonder if she got the lotto, would you say, she won the California lotto?
If she got the lotto, I tell her. As far as I know, she's happily married
She's in the happy life.
with kids and everything.
There you go. That's what I'm saying.
Crazy stuff this morning, you guys. This was crossing my mind today. We're going to have a crazy show today. Oh, because I've been doing stuff. I've been people watching. For one, and you know what? Okay, before you guys weigh in on me, I don't search this stuff out. This is what floats across my desk. Unlike Yahoo, Mashable, this is the news that floats. I'm not looking up this news, you guys, so don't blame me. This is what everybody's sort of talking about. Well, take a look at Khloe Kardashian, who's lost she's got a 5-month-old.
Yeah, she worked it right.
Man,
Now this
I'm not trying. I think it's unfair to the other women. I'm not saying I'm trying to embrace unfair standards. I'm just saying, damn. Damn.
all I'm saying is, does she give you the secret in what she did to get there? Because everybody's gonna. First of all, the pot shotters are gonna
Probably
go
exercising and not eating.
Right. Or because the other.
There's no secrets.
No.
To this stuff.
Some people will say surgery. Not
No,
me.
that
not
ain't
me.
surgery.
That's not surgery.
Ask
Mario.
that's
Ask
work.
Mario. He knows.
That's working out. If that was surgery, I'd go in there and get some.
See so you are already stopping the haters, right?
Just saying.
Yeah. So don't. Hey, this is all real.
All right, so everybody give it up for Khloe. I'm sorry. Give it up for Khloe Kardashian.
Yeah, man. Give 5 months. Whew. Wow.
Wow, I'm just loving it.
Yeah.
Hey, so welcome to Morning Coffee with Mario. It's the first broadcast of October, and I'm loving that. And we got a full week this week, a bunch of stuff coming up, and we want you to be aware of what's going around because the weather's changing. The weather's getting cooler. That's why I donned a different apparel. For example, let's get a weather. Alexa, what's the weather in Compton?
Currently, in Taunton, Massachusetts, it's 74 degrees Fahrenheit with cloudy
Can I ask you
skies. Today, you can
Can I ask
expect
you that?
intermittent clouds with a high of
I didn't ask
74
you.
degrees and a low of 58 degrees.
That's not what I asked.
Oh, Massachusetts just got their weather report. I applaud that. Where's the applause? There you go. There you go, Massachusetts. So you do know there's more than one Compton.
Alexa, what's the weather in Compton, California?
Currently, in Compton, California, it's 77 degrees Fahrenheit with clear skies and sun. Today, you can expect partly sunny weather with a high of 85 degrees and a low of 69 degrees.
All right, that's good.
All right, well, that's good.
Mm-hmm.
So, all right. And we got more today. It's a wonderful day, and we want to get also acknowledgement to all the birthdays. A bunch of birthdays been going out there. I've been doing a bunch on Facebook, and so I want to say for all of you who've had birthdays in the recent times, happy birthday. Alexa, what's the birthday roundup?
Today's birthday stars include Happy Days dad Tom Bosley, born 1927, A-Team actor George Peppard, born 1928, musician Yusu Endure, born 1959, comedian Zach Galifianakis, born 1969, and Captain Marvel star Brie Larson, born 1989. Additionally, today in 1971, Walt Disney World opens in Florida.
Well, that's just some wonderful shit to know.
Okay.
What,
all right.
Just filling you up with wonderful shit to know today, and that's the way we do it. Okay, then now, Alexa, drum roll.
Okay.
Yeah, boom. Where's my... All right, you guys, a membership update. Yeah. Love. Got it. Membership update at Pack Stereo TV. I want to make everyone aware that thanks to you all, we have officially crossed the 8,000 member.
There you go.
8,102 members, Vic.
Right.
8,100 at Pack Stereo TV. So for those of you who haven't gone by, go by Pack Stereo TV, join, sign up, become part of the party, become part of the history.
What about those night crawlers at Club Pack Stereo? What's the membership on that one?
$24.18.
Only on Fridays and Saturdays. No, I'm kidding.
So go join all of it. Packstereo.club, packstereo.tv, our portals, packstereo.com, and what can I say? All right, upcoming schedule for the rest of the week. We got the Quiet Storm on Tuesday. Music is coming together, you guys, but I don't have the title of the theme down just yet. But the music is coming together. If you have any requests for the Quiet Storm, make sure you send me an email, contact me on Facebook. I'm out there. I'm listening to your requests. I'm not necessarily playing your requests, but I am listening to your requests. So come on. We got a Friday night agenda coming up, Vic. What's coming up Friday? Because we had to take off a couple of Fridays because of Vic being sick,
Yeah.
Vic being out.
Yeah, man. We bringing it back. We're gonna sit back and let Miko do some operating. That's all I can tell you this Friday. She will be operating in a vacuum.
That's all he could tell us. We'll just have to hold our breath.
Right.
Just have to hold our breath
Right. You got to hold your breath.
till Friday
We finally kick it off.
to know what we're going to have. Okay, you guys, now. And so this morning we got the news coming up. We got Marijuana for Dummies. I can tell you for the news segment, we're going to be talking about problems or issues with the FBI investigation. Also, we're going to be talking about what happens when the local police get involved because there is no statute of limitations. So these are things we're talking about. Also in Marijuana for Dummies, I'm going to be talking about why I'm headed to Uruguay where the weed is legal. Vic, what's happening with you? It's new sports and hot picks.
The sports is so much of it, so I'm just going to pick and choose some of the areas. I'm not even talking about the Ryder Cup because U.S. got so smashed that you don't really want to hear it because
And I
it got
did.
smashed. It got smashed.
that's one of those.
Right, got smashed.
Sorry.
LeBron debuts preseason, so you guys get a taste of what it's like to play with the new staff, if you want to call it that. Also, somebody gives somebody the middle finger, and karma's a bitch because that middle finger may be coming around and sending a message to a lot of people in the NFL. Earl Thomas is the subject. Also, we're going to hit with face mask grabbing coaches. I thought that was a thing of the past. We'll talk about it. Baseball playoffs is going on like right now. It's a doubleheader with what they call tied teams in certain divisions. Getting that later. Also, in Hot Picks, is it the show? It's the actress? It's the legacy? It's the ladies? You're going to find out, if you don't know about these shows, what motivates you, what attracts you, and then will there be a legacy moving forward? Because we always look backwards to validate, wow, it was meaningful, they played a meaningful role. We'll get into that later.
All right, here we go. As always, we get to feature the slideshow. Here's last year's slideshow animation for the fall. Actually, 2016. Enjoy.
since I spoke to you. And I know that there's no rhyme or reason to what you put me through. So I take your promises and all the memories, and I play them back 'cause I can't breathe. But you are so captivating. But you are the answer to my dream. You are the only reason, and I know I fall to pieces when you speak. And you are so captivating, and you are the answer to my dream. You are all around me, and I know I fall to pieces when you speak to me. The times you came and you went away, I have learned to love no matter what you say. Though the world's a stage and we are standing round, we can change the way we live right out loud. And you are so captivating, and you are the answer to my plea. And you are the only reason, and I know I fall to pieces when you speak. And you are so captivating, and you are the answer to my dream. You are all around me, and I know I fall to pieces when you speak to me. People grow and feelings show, answers come when you're searching. When you're searching, and you are so captivating, and you are the answer to my plea. And you are the only reason, and I know I fall to pieces when you speak. And you are so captivating, and you are the answer to my dream. You are all around me, and I know I fall to pieces when you speak to me.
This is how the body heats. Slideshow animation. Look at me go. Marvin Smitty Smith. Victor Allen. Hot Picks, our own.
And I know I fall to pieces when you speak to me.
Yes, 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 yes. Hey, you guys may have noticed the newly installed features that we're using so much here at Pack Stereo. That new chat. It's the latest thing, the chat overlay. And Vic, I want you to know I got a notice from Restream.
Oh, you did?
And they claim, even I don't see it so far, they claim that there's a new integration with Facebook. And so that with Restream, we're supposed to be getting the chat in a minute. As you know, if you join the chat room at Twitch and our regular broadcasts or at Twitter, Periscope, whatever you chat gets actually fed into our online feed. And you get to enjoy that chat and chat in front and on top of all of our broadcasts. One of the latest features is actually a gaming feature that we've installed at Pax Stereo TV. Well, up until now, the Facebook integration was lacking. But now supposedly that's going to be improved, even though I don't see it yet. So in a minute, that wonderful chat that we get from folks like Eric Black and from Phil Cuthbert, will show up in our streams.
Okay. It'll be a nice challenge.
Yeah, it'll be nice. It'll be, that's what I was thinking. It'll be a nice challenge.
Yeah, let's see if they're tweaking it.
See if it's be grading your performance.
Right.
All right, you guys ready for some news? Well, ladies and gentlemen, it's time for the good news, the bad news, and the other shit. Welcome to the good news, the bad news, and the other shit. I'm Mario Hemsley, and we have to start off this broadcast today in a solemn, solemn moment where we send our prayers out to all the folks who are suffering in Indonesia. The recent earthquake, over 800 folks dead. It's a tsunami, over 10-foot tsunami rolled through many parts. One of the islands was very much decimated, and so it's turning into a global humanitarian effort to come to their aid.
I was listening to the report on this, and they have the earthquake warning system, and that province, that area, after they had the earthquake, they went a certain amount of time, and then said all clear, everything's good. And that's what gets me. And imagine that because I think what they were doing is timing out basically, there's not going to be a tsunami, and of course you know what happened.
Well, that's the part I've always had. I guess so the issue is with an early warning system that giving you, and at most they're not even giving you a minute. It's a matter of how many seconds.
Right.
I'm always unsure as how valuable it may make. The idea is that it could save lives.
Yeah.
Or you could just sort of freak out.
Right.
Because you have 20 seconds before.
Yeah. I'm not sure how long. I didn't get to see all the details, so I apologize. I'm not sure if it was an hour, 2 hours, or whatever. But obviously they felt that once the initial threat passed, they thought it was okay. Now, I don't know if that would have made any difference, but I saw the footage of that water coming in. It's you know what? You're so used to waves, where the waves initially hit, and then it's all of a sudden it's a lull, but the water keeps rising, it keeps coming, and then there's all debris in it. So I really feel for them. So blessings to the family. I hope it doesn't get too much worse on the numbers, but it was terrible.
Well, this is where you really need a global effort. Here, power. These countries are poor enough in the beginning that they don't have the same infrastructure to respond. Right. So when they get one of these tragedies, they can't really muster the same type of response.
Right.
So again, we're looking forward to seeing whether or not the aid is coming from abroad. Wow. And a throwback, this story really kind of came, and again, these are the stories that come across my desk. And a throwback to a different time. I found this recent story where a DNA test was done by a man who showed he was 4% black. And now he wants to qualify as a minority business owner.
Smart, right?
So I knew that would raise some discussion. But one of the things I had to do, Vic, I had to raise the issue of the historical perspective on this.
Right.
That once again, we're back in the courts defining what is black. And what's interesting is I don't see that the DNA helps. For one, I've long made the assertion that black has never been a scientific definition. It's always been a sociological. Back from the days when they defined quadroons and octoroons, they had laws that said if you were 1/8 black, you were black. If you were less than that, then you were white.
Right.
So now they have DNA. And so the part that makes it kind of crazy for me is that even though you have DNA, which is I'm not even going to get into the objective measurement, even though we could, of how that DNA studies were done, carried out, and what makes them correct or their degrees of correctness. We won't even get into that. But let's just assume you could do a DNA test that said percentage black. Okay, so what percentage would then be designated as black? What if you were 30% black? Would you be black? 15%. So no matter what, at some point in time, you have to assign blackness to a numerical value. You have to say what percentage of DNA, and that DNA may not even be expressed the same. You may have some people where the DNA, whatever percentage we determine is acceptable to define you as black, but that DNA may not express itself the same. Some people whose DNA says more black may end up looking more white.
True.
So they don't know. So I just wanted to bring it up. If you weren't confused enough in today's world, you could be confused about this.
Well, let me ask you this. There's the economic, there's the social. Obviously, everything that actually deals with not what people have to deal with, what they say multi-complex DNA strands, meaning that, Mar, you probably have 3 or 4 ancestries in your DNA. So the minority set aside was to somewhat present a measure of, not appeasement, I'm not going to say that, fairness in the economic competitive market based on who you are and how you are. If you also go back, there used to be this thing where now, Indians were tribalistic. Now, if everybody could say they're a Native American, they love it to death. Why is that? See,
well, it goes through fads. I mean, definitely it goes through fads. And that's part of the whole issue, even though, the issue is, what are you using the definition for? What if you want to define yourself thusly, to what end? Why you want to do it? And then, even though I tend to be more flexible, in other words, to me, science is not the real answer. If you feel black or you feel Asian or you feel Latino in terms of your vibe, then I'm suggesting maybe that's the component that defines you, and maybe you are because you feel it. I think we are designed to bounce off of each other, and as we travel and meet other people, there are going to be those that we bond the most to. Some we like more than others. It's inevitable. You're going to go someplace and say, "Hey, I like these people."
Now, I'm going to help Mario with this because he hit on one of my favorite subjects. Now, back in the day.
Oh, Lord.
See the way
all right, already.
Wait a minute.
Already skeptical.
No, it's a good thing. Watch.
Back in the day.
Now, Mario and I, we hung out a little. The nightlife. We were responsible. Mario walked across the room. He said, "Vic, man, just met this girl, man. She's mixed with Brazilian, French, Greece, African." You would brag about it. When it was the woman, when you were in your social going, the more the mix, the better and you actually looked at it that way. Now, I have not run into a situation where I have to talk to women about this. Is that back in the day, if the brother was mixed with did you go bragging? What's different now?
I think people are more accepting. Hey,
right.
To me, those mixtures, those exotic mixtures, are absolutely the most beautiful people that you see. Those mixtures, everything, Asian and black, white and black, everything in black, Latin. I must have my bias on that. But even when you see the other Asian and Latin, I'm just saying, there are the good Lord meant for us to mix up that DNA. And to that extent, you see some beautiful stuff. So keep an ear out. Pretty soon they're going to define for you what is black in the court. In my weekly Trump disaster update, I wanted to bring out and remind you a couple of things. I stated in the previous broadcast that what happens if Kavanaugh is confirmed? And I want people to remember that it's not over. It's not over because there is no statute of limitations in Maryland, as far as, or D.C., with there's no statute of limitations, so you could be brought up on these charges. As of yet, I haven't heard any mention of anyone bringing in the local police. Because remember, since there is no statute, theoretically she could go into, Dr. Ford could go into a police station and make a statement and and level charges that the local police, who are actually set up and designed to investigate this, would then be compelled to follow up on. And I think this is one of the things that people know is kind of lurking. I said before that the absolute best that could happen for the GOP would be that Kavanaugh remove himself from consideration. Next up is, I guess, Trump removing him. But remember, if he gets confirmed, does not mean that it's over. That is actually the beginning. In fact, for him, it's probably ongoing no matter what. Follow up to this, you can expect a civil suit. The attorneys that are helping and working with Dr. Ford are working pro bono. That means her case is considered so significant that the firms consider it to their benefit to represent her for free. For free. So you get the feeling this may go further and further. If Dr. Ford brings a complaint against Kavanaugh, even if he's confirmed on the Supreme Court, you'll then have an instance where a sitting member of the Supreme Court is indicted,
right,
and forced to come and make statements, appear before a grand jury. These are all the possibilities. So this is where you sit right now. You have the FBI report, which people are already questioning, because it actually gets to be directed by the president, and we haven't heard exactly what the directions are. But we have heard, for one, that neither Dr. Ford or Judge Kavanaugh are being interviewed. And if that's still true, then you know it's full of shit. You know, so the question is, who are they interviewing? What is the scope? We've also been told that no investigation into the alleged drinking patterns of Judge Kavanaugh is being undertaken. So they're not investigating his drinking problems. So once again, we wondered, what are they investigating? Michael Avenatti, who represents the third accuser, says that they haven't even been contacted by the FBI. Again, bringing up the question of who is being interviewed as part of this.
right.
So, heading into next week, where we say Friday there's supposed to be the vote. Right now, you have questions of the FBI investigation. And I think people are also sort of watching very carefully. But remember that it's not over, and that Dr. Ford and associates can bring complaints with the local police, okay?
Right.
And also that there are civil suit possibilities. So this could be an ongoing nightmare for some time. Vic, what do you think? You think it's going to end up being I don't even know. People have been asking me, Mario, what do you...
Well,
I can't predict anything, you guys. I don't have any...
Well, for me, I think everybody mostly are in the short-term effect, meaning that they're focusing on as much as they can now, and that, to me, becomes getting entrenched in the political fight. I believe the bigger picture are the people saying, hey, don't rush this. There's going to be changes. and there's going to be a continuance of this. This is not just go after Brett and then all of a sudden say, hey, let's get him out. Now we go back to our rooms, our place. I think it hits your point, the legal aftermath. Also, the great risk they have to take in doing this. And three, while they're so busy fighting, I just think this swell of people who are going, there's a greater, bigger message here at hand, and probably even beyond the Me Too movement itself, because I don't think this is what that is. I think this is one of those things where this woman seems so credible that she has this side for people to say, look, even if Brett gets in, it's only the beginning. So it's much less about, to me, about whether he gets in or not. It's about what he represents. And if it continues after the fact, I can imagine at the Supreme Court, I'm literally sitting there going like this. Have you guys ever had such a controversial person sitting while things are going on like this? That is something they haven't dealt with before. Not even Clarence Thomas. So it's be interesting to see.
And the saga continues. And now a moment of reflection. You know, this whole issue lately with Kanye West has once again forced me to step back and really take a look. Because I think it teaches us a number of things. His recent appearance on SNL, Saturday Night Live, was complicated to say the least. For those of you who want to say, well, let's see. I think I actually, Vic, I think I actually can, I think I have a piece of it on Facebook. But Kanye West, you know, there's a question, what actually occurred?
Right.
People were posting their own different videos about what happened, but supposedly when he appeared on Saturday Night Live, at the end of it where he was allowed to add another musical piece, and then he went into a rant. Let's see if we have it.
Which it's kind of predictable, right?
Try love, try love, try love. You see, they laughing at me. You heard them, they scream at me. They bully me. They bullied me backstage. They said, don't go out there with that hat on. They bullied me backstage. They bullied me. And then they say, I'm in a sunken place. You want to see the sunken place? Okay, I'm going to listen to y'all now. Or I'm going to put my Superman cape on. Because this means you can't tell me what to do. Follow your heart and stop following your mind. That's how we're controlled. That's how we're programmed. If you want the world to move forward, try love. Thank y'all for giving me this platform. I know some of y'all don't agree, but y'all be going at that man neck a lot, and I don't think it's actually that helpful. I think the universe has balance. 90% of news are liberal. 90% of TV, LA, New York, writers, rappers, musicians. So it's easy to make it seem like it's so one-sided. And I feel kind of free. I thought this country said I could be me. I love me too. And I love y'all too, so bring the band back. Bring the band back.
They supposedly had to cut the show off. It had ended. So that's just a piece of it. You can actually get the transcript of what, because that's probably the better parts of it, the ones you saw. But you know, the point I wanted to make was that when you have people who are in the middle of emotional illness, like I really think Kanye West is, I'm not sure we can hold them accountable for these kinds of things. And people say, well, you're trying to say you're giving them a pass. I'm saying, as a healthcare professional, I'm recognizing an individual who is into some kind of a mental health crisis. And at that point, once I recognize that you're in a mental health crisis, I stop paying attention in that same kind of a way to what you say. I pay attention in terms of telling where you are, in terms of the processes you're going through, but I don't hold you accountable in the same way for the opinions that you have. And that's the way I feel about Kanye. He's getting a lot of pushback. He's been supposedly looking for the repeal of the 13th Amendment, which is the abolition of slavery. So when people are trying to understand, they're trying to understand what he means. If you're going to try to repeal the 13th Amendment, what are you trying to repeal and why? And again, I look at what's happening, him dealing with the kids, talking about moving to Chicago. His wife says he changed his mind frequently. Yeah, I think he's got he shows symptoms to me of a fairly severe bipolar disorder of some kind. I'm not a psychiatrist, but I can tell people who are in trouble. And he's in trouble.
Okay, I didn't get to see the clarity of the hat and what it said.
That was a MAGA hat.
I didn't see.
It was a regular MAGA.
Got it.
Make America Great Again.
See, I couldn't see it. Okay, I got it. That makes sense. So, no, I just leave it. Mario covered it all. I'm sorry. I'm just saying. Okay. See, I'm not there. I'm not there. So I just, hey, sometimes people didn't know what James Brown would say. Well, we kept dancing.
So it is. The good news. The bad news. And the other shit. Man. What can I say?
Y'all leave it alone.
It's that kind of broadcast. Coming up next, Marijuana for Dummies.
What's the announcement?
You need a break. I need a break. We need to shake, stand up and stretch those weary bones. Come on. I see you out there. Here's some Love Shadow. Come on, come on.
Sitting next to me, you know there's something 247 got a hold on me. There's no better way that I could ever say it. 247 got a hold on me. I'm doing time for you good every day. 247 got a hold on me. Lock it up, lock it down, throw the key away. 247 got a hold on me. Every minute, every hour, every day. 247 got a hold on me. There's no better way that I could ever say it. 247 got a hold on me. I'm doing time for you good every day. 247 got a hold on me. Lock it up, lock it down, throw the key away. 247 got a hold on me.
I like beer. Besides how the body heats. Wow. Love that track 247 by Love Shadow. Remember, you can get it free. It's part of the Creative Commons movement, a movement where artists are making their selections available to you for free, to freely share with your friends, while they retain their rights for any commercial use. 247, you can go get that at dig.ccmixter.org. I'll be sticking it into the chat for those of you who need to see it. But again, we love that track. All right, let me make sure I got everything ready here. Are you all ready? Talk about some weed.
Times are a-changing, but some things stay the same. You start each morning with a cup of coffee every day. Maybe hit the snooze, turn on the local news, but nothing good comes from a one-sided point of view. Marijuana for dummies. Come for the info, stay for the reefer. Marijuana for dummies. Come for the info and stay for the reefer.
Yes. Marijuana for dummies. Hello, all the potheads out there. But you are not potheads. And so I use that as a term of affection dearly for so many of you. Here at Marijuana for Dummies, where we are resisting the miseducation of marijuana. And today we've got a really interesting show for you because we're going to talk about cannabis in Uruguay, which I'm now planning on taking a trip to because it is the spot. But before we get to that, we've got to give you our weekly strain review, which is, again, what I'm smoking. And what I'm smoking is actually Galaxy. Galaxy is a sativa-dominant marijuana hybrid. In other words, it has qualities of both sativa and indica. And according to this source, and there are many, but this is one of the good marijuana resources online, it is approximately 80% sativa, 20% indica. It's a wonderful morning smoke, and it goes wonderful with the morning coffee. So I want to give it up for Galaxy. I think I had a picture of it. Let me see. Yeah, they do. I have my visual aids. Here we go. Visual aids. Well, there's no actual picture of the weed. Oh, well. Looks like all the other weed.
Right, that's a good one.
Big Buzz.
Hey, look, that's a good one.
So, Galaxy, that's what I'm smoking. Okay, now, so the topic at hand, you guys, I was watching television and, like many of you, I'm a Anthony Bourdain fan. But I hadn't been watching any shows of late because I was so much affected by his recent passing. So just recently I started watching again this past weekend, and the show that has happened to be up when I tuned in was on Uruguay, which he's been to before, but it was a return visit for him because some of his previous family earlier had migrated to Uruguay. So he had a whole reason for going to look there, I think because of his grandfather and others. So I watched the show in Uruguay, and they had some wonderful scenes at the beach, because it's a wonderful country right next to Argentina, which more people used to, I guess, tease and say was Argentina's little sister or something like that. But it's a totally distinct group, and they recently passed laws legalizing marijuana. Indeed, they are the first country in the modern era to legalize cannabis. Wow.
Wow.
So they did it in December of 2013. So now it makes me want to go there because one of the things I got to watch is Anthony Bourdain sitting on the beach smoking a joint.
Right.
Having some good food. And you know, I speak a fair amount of Spanish, I can go there and struggle around and get around. But I think for me, this is now the place to go because I like to go places where I can have smoke. Now in Uruguay, the whole thing right now has to do with distributors because they don't have a lot of distributors that allow people to grow. And what's happening is most of the marijuana is handled through clubs that people join. They pay to join the club. For example, one of the clubs, I believe, is like $90 a month. And for that $90 a month, they give you roughly 2 ounces of weed every month as part of the club. So most of it is handled through these growing clubs that are growing these large amounts of marijuana and then having people join the club. And the clubs tend to have, you know, an admission fee also. So some of that means, I mean, from what I read, some of them go as high as $200 to join the club.
Okay.
And so, therefore, the issue of smoking, even though I must admit, if I had to go to Uruguay, I would probably be willing to join the club for the time I'm there, you know, and that'll be it, you know. But it's something to think about. The beautiful, beautiful countryside. For those of you who don't know, go take a look at the Anthony Bourdain segment. And there's also a great piece from Vice TV, from Weedicat, where they're actually interviewing the president, the former president of Uruguay, which is wonderful to see the president smoke a joint.
Okay. So he will be the official first president of a country to be smoking a joint.
Jose Mujica.
Okay.
So there's a bunch of documentaries on there.
Okay.
I was trying to show you guys something. Let me see what I can show you. You gotta have one at Montevideo. So, you know, things are changing there. That piece was talking about how they weren't allowing the tourists, but everything is changing. Everything is changing rapidly as, you know, as the system, you know, grows into it. Right. I was going to Google to see. marijuana pharmacies in Uruguay. Let's see whether we can find them. Marijuana. Let's see where they are, because they gotta have it. The capital's Montevideo, and that's where I'm planning on going. See, okay, Dick, I knew they had to have one. The Farmacia Antarctica. It's open right now. And oh, look at these all in, there's a couple in Montevideo. Okay. And I want to see if they have one in one of the other beach areas that I was considering going to. Let's see what it looks like. Farmacia Antarctica. Okay, so they don't have it, but so we could go there, open from 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. Thank you for the internet. So I'll let you know. I'm actually going to be on top of this right now in the next, because I want to, October, November is a great time to go, weather-wise.
So would you say that there's an area of time that you're going to be blocking out there? You say, hey, if I don't go by then, it rolls over, say, to the next season.
I'm looking at going right about mid-month.
This month?
This month.
Oh, so a couple of weeks.
Yeah, I'm trying to get it set up right now.
Hey, you guys, make your pictures. Anybody want to do the buddy buddy?
That's so dumb. Okay, so that's come up before. I thought about that. You know, whether or not, because right now I'm single, but see, it might be good to have a person with me to help me with some of the production. With both the production,
Yeah.
you know, moving some of those bags, that kind of stuff.
Well, you hitting a short window of a
That's
schedule,
funny, Vic, that's funny.
well, because not a lot of people have the flexibility to go like, oh, in a couple of weeks. So you got to move kind of quick, man.
So anybody interested in taking a trip, send me your reference.
Not anybody. He's not looking for men. I can tell you that right off.
Okay, not anybody. Bye. Gotta go to Uruguay.
Times are changing, but some things stay the same. You start each morning with a cup of coffee every day. Maybe hit the snooze, turn on the local news, but nothing good comes from a one-sided point of view. Marijuana for dummies. Come for the info, stay for the reefer. Marijuana for dummies. Come for the info and stay for the reefer.
Yes. Excuse me.
Love.
Coming right
The
back
electrifying formula
with sports
between
and
your
hot
people
picks.
with feeling,
Get ready, y'all.
deep, charismatic, compelling, creating a union that is telling, shining a light, shedding a glow, feeling your soul. From love arises a booming energy, sending the world a message in a bottle. There is more to show. As the love grows and kicks into full throttle, the fused unit produces a message that becomes a more powerful whole, even more powerful than the love in full.
We go here, we go there, we go where we think we'll find it. Again we search until we see
we take steps, 'cause we know our time is short. We make the best of what we bought. But tell me where do we go with our broken hearts? Oh, tell me where do we go with our broken hearts? We go here, we go there. We go where we think we'll find it. Again we search until we see that we will never be free. But tell me where do we go with our broken hearts? Oh, tell me where do we go with our broken hearts? But tell me where do we go with our broken hearts? Oh, tell me where do we go with our broken hearts? Oh, tell me where do we go with our broken hearts? Oh, tell me where do we go with our broken hearts?
Yeah, y'all. Where do we go? Love Shadow, the MIB mix featuring Melody Romancito and Silkwords. You can get that song again free at dig.ccmixter.org. Google Love Shadow. Google Love Shadow, where do we go? And go and get that mix. Well, you guys ready for some sports?
Maybe.
Let's find out. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for Victor Allen's New Sports, a unique fan-based view of sports, written and directed by the bald-headed black man. Rub his head and make a wish. The ladies have nicknamed him Sexual Chocolate. Come on down for the sports. It's time to get into it. Yes.
You know, after you actually talked about your Uruguay getaway, that's probably the most interesting story of this whole show this morning. I'm
Think
sorry.
so? The Uruguay getaway I haven't done yet?
Yes. The reason why is because will you be going solo?
'Cause I was looking at the Uruguay women.
Okay, I'm gonna leave that one alone.
I might have to go over there and speak a little Spanish.
Okay, see, that's what I'm saying. This is not sports yet, you guys. It's about to be
Never
sports.
know what I might come home with.
If you guys want to check out what I'm talking about, he didn't know it's coming, but I know it's coming. That's why I sat there and said, he's planning to go to Uruguay. And I said, you do know what that means, right? See, that's what I'm saying.
I do.
That's why I'm leaving it alone right now.
Gotta speak Spanish.
Right. All right. All right, man. Hey, this is it. Weekend what, man? I'm not going to cover everything through because I'm going to go with the one because I have to go local base first before you go anywhere else. But before I do, let me just say this. For those of you who are waiting for the Ryder Cup follow-up, the ass got spanked. USA got spanked. That's enough said. You guys go find your other follow-ups there. They're showing kicks of Phil Mickelson doing some stuff over somebody's head, hitting the cup. So whatever that is to you guys, you got it. Now, the golf is over for me. LeBron's debut. Did you watch any of it, man?
No.
Wow.
No,
Okay.
I didn't watch
All right.
any of it.
All right. So let me, because it's a big
it was
deal.
Pre-season, right?
It's preseason, and I'm gonna start off here because the first thing that happens is the players who are gonna be the players. This is a new team. No one cares about the outcome of the game. They just care about seeing what has been implemented, and some of the same old issues may be there when it comes to getting to know each other, and then of course playing defense and hustle, and then of course extra hustle. I'm just going to give you the report card on James, or let's just say who impacted him first, and I'm going to read something real quick. He said it was great to get back on the floor and start a new journey for myself. James said after the Lakers 124-107 loss was over, after it was over, of course. Ingram, not for the 4-time MVP and 3-time champion who filled up the stat sheet in the first half as the third-year forward, put up 13 points, 4 rebounds, 2 steals, to James' 9 points, 3 assists, and 3 rebounds. Now, of course, James only played the first quarter and part of the second. But the person that got him was Ingram. He says, I find rhythm with anybody who's very energetic offensively. And that's a guy who moves without the ball. I think he sent a message to the rest of his players. In other words, I watched the game. Ingram is no joke. He's real. Off the ball, on the ball. When he gets the ball, you literally know that, this is going to be an easy 2 because he's not just launching threes. So if I had to come away from this, the people that you're going to see that I believe will have an impact, you already know Rajon Rondo's going to do his thing. Kyle Kuzma makes an impact already. He broke franchise records, or he's in the list of franchise records for how well his proficiency was in 3-point shooting. So you got 2 players. Everybody else is still trying to play catch up. It's just game 1. 124-107. Not a big deal. Now let's get to this. And I said this before before we broke for the summer season. They won 35 games this year. So let me just try to figure this out. Plus minus margin. LeBron, how many games, along with the other players that's added to the team, will the Lakers be rewarded with? Plus 10 games over last year? Plus 15? Plus 20? If you just had to go without nothing else, Mark, they won 35 and they got all the new players. How many more games will it be to the Lakers' advantage?
Because I'm never really, Vic, aware of how many games there are in the season. I feel more comfortable in saying that they're going to be a contender. How's that? I mean, in other words, they're going to be a contender.
Right.
And I think the degree to which they're going to contend is the part that we're going to be discussing. Whether or not they're going to be a better contender than, say, Houston. So I think, in looking at it that way, at least the Lakers, just with the addition of LeBron to what they already have, are at least, to me, the number 3, arguably the number 3 team in the West.
So, okay. So what you're saying is that, Golden State and Houston are going to be 1-2.
Well, I'm saying Golden State is going to be 1.
Right. Houston?
I don't know. It's up in the air for Houston.
Okay. Yeah.
To me. Because, in other words, we may see some things that we don't expect out of some of the other teams.
Well, yeah. Utah's going to be Utah. Denver played their regular players. That's why they won last night. I mean, their whole team.
That's why I'm not
they
so
won
sure
last
about
night because,
the 2.
Yeah. So
I'm really not sure about the 2.
Because they lost some defense.
Houston.
Okay.
It may be Houston, but it may be Houston battling with the Lakers for 3.
Okay, and let me ask this, because there's a lot of Carmelo fans. So once they lost Ariza, they lost some defense, but gained Carmelo. I'm not sure if everybody's saying that the team is better. I think they've changed. So Houston may be or may not be, well, let's just say this. We'll wait to see the Carmelo effect as it pertains to, and they lost, I think, is it Mbamute, who plays defensive as well. So there's some defensive power they've lost on their team.
I'm with you, Vic. I think Houston is different, not so much better.
Right.
And that is part of the whole reason why I see the Lakers competing with them.
Right.
You know, maybe the Lakers are the number 2 team in the West.
Yeah. Hey,
maybe they are. I don't know. I need to see that kind of play.
Right.
But I am excited, too, with some of the talk about how they're approaching with players playing at different positions at different times as the way to throw things differently at Golden State. And I think they're going to be able to do some of that. At least I'm excited to see it effectively. So we'll see.
I have to get used to the part that you have so many new players on the Lakers, because you have to get used to the floor. You look at JaVale McGee.
Yeah.
He's good. I mean, you see what he's doing. You understand it. You look at other players, of course, and say, okay, will you get used to this? Will they be different in your eyes? Because I truly believe there's some players who got criticism when they were on other teams. So do you change your outlook because they're on the Lakers? And LeBron being the only superstar, he had what they call a plus 50 game accumulation last year by going to the title. And he did that with Kevin Love, which means he had not only Kevin may not be a superstar, but he's star enough. Right now, all they have is LeBron. So I'm going to go out because Denver won 48 games last year, and they got the same players. I will give the Lakers this year, I have to say they can win an extra 12 to 15 games.
Where do you rank them in the West?
Okay, with everybody being healthy now, I'm not dealing with all these teams.
We gotta assume that.
I truly believe people are more optimistic. If LeBron James was to put his body out there the way he did with Cleveland last year, because it was really him, then I would put them up there at least battling for, say, a 4th position, maybe even threatening a 3rd spot, because I think everybody's going to beat up on everybody.
That's pretty, because 4th is not sounding that good.
Well, but see, here's what I'm saying. You look at it, how many games.
Do you think they can beat Oklahoma?
I believe Oklahoma is more vulnerable now, yes. I believe they're more vulnerable.
Because, you don't think they're better than Houston.
Oh, no, I think Houston, I still say Houston still has a slight edge, because Oklahoma, I mean, as good as they were last year, did we all get somewhat disappointed by what was expected from them? Did they not have what they call the big 3? At least 2 stars, let's say 2.5 stars. And I believe they got knocked out in the first round. So I'm not saying that they won't be better this year. I just think there were some glaring weaknesses on the team. And I call it the same too. You need a year to have a new team come together. It's virtually impossible to bring a whole bunch of new players together and knock it off on the first year, because you need a lot of young legs that's going to hustle behind you. And most veterans don't hustle that. I'm not saying they don't hustle. They just don't do it all out. So I'm looking at LeBron James this year. Do you think LeBron is going to sit back and play as hard as he did, the way he did with Cleveland last year? Because I truly believe he's going to go, do you know how much output I had to put out for that? And
I think he's going to feel rejuvenated and come with it.
That, to me, he could do it, but he shouldn't have to because of the players that's going to be around him. He's going to have a lot of young legs that may be on the bench. The starters, I question. I just don't know if they can hustle around as much, because they also have to be a threat offensively. If the team is not threatening offensively, remember, they're coming from being last in three-point shooting in the league last year. Unless that glaringly goes up, there'll be a lot of wasted energy, man. Because in this league today, you have to have an impact on three-point shooting. I watched the Boston Celtics and Charlotte Hornets. Charlotte looks impressive. I mean, hey, enough to turn around and say they look better than what they did last year. Now, where that goes in a preseason game, I'm not sure. So I'm just going 12 to 15 games markup. So if they go from 35, I can give the Lakers, they'll be threatening that 50-game threshold if everybody stays healthy. That's just my look on it, man. So I'm just going to say be happy about Ingram and Kuzma. They are.
I'm happy. I'm an official Laker fan this year.
Right.
Victor will tell you I have not been in previous years. So I get to return as a Laker fan now. And so
You're
I'm
happy.
doing so.
Yes, we're just jacked up. All right, now, you know what? I think everybody now appreciates Le'Veon Bell. I just moved straight over to the NFL. Because of that, hold on a second, you guys. I have to do, what I call engaging my mobile audience, so I had to do something real quick. Hey, look. Le'Veon Bell is in a good place. Most of the people were attacking him, or a few, what we call broadcast outlets, about the movie he's making. Then we did the story on Earl Thomas last week about him sitting back saying he's going to make sure he look out for himself. Le'Veon Bell removes himself so that way he doesn't subject himself to injury. So that way he can get the long haul and the better agreement. Earl Thomas goes and puts himself on the line. He gets injured. So now, and that fractured leg, most of you guys already know about, the safety from Seattle Seahawks. Now, he's out for the year. He cannot negotiate a better contract when he's going to also be threatened with the idea that he's in his twilight years. So, who is smarter here? Now, there are different agreements with Le'Veon Bell's situation than it is with Earl Thomas. Earl Thomas really had not a choice, I guess, to say, let me just sit out. But now, does he wish he sat out? Period. And I don't know if you saw this, Mario. The middle finger. So if you want to scroll up. So
he
show
does to his teammates.
Show me the display over there where they're debating this. I'm not sure if it's to his teammates, coaching staff, ownership. It's to the Seattle direction of the sidelines.
Yeah, we don't know who it's to. We know that he's got to feel bad that he specifically got injured.
Yeah.
In a way that we were specifically hoping that he wouldn't.
Yeah, and you feel sorry for him because you literally are saying now you see what he was negotiating for. But now here's the thing that may be he may be setting a trend here, which I don't know if the NFL players will be able to take advantage of because of their collective bargaining agreement. If they all look at what Le'Veon Bell did and say, oh man, look at the heat he's taking, social media, in the media, then they go look at Earl Thomas and I'm giving everything I got. Well, who looks like they're in a better position to negotiate now? Earl Thomas, fractured leg, it's going to take him a year. And he's older. And then the contract may not be what he wants. Le'Veon Bell. So isn't this one of those situations where you got players now going to go look at Earl Thomas and go, whoa, man.
Of course they are.
That's how easy it is to get injured and ruin your...
Of course they are. They're going to take that into account. It's the same leg he had previously injured. This actually could be the end of his career.
Right.
So we don't know.
We don't know. And the middle finger, of course, they're going to say it's not a good look. I agree. It's not a good look because it's not specific. Number two, he's probably not going to address it and say anything about it. But I know that he's looking at it going, there goes my money out the door. Because no matter what he may or may not get, he will end up on another team. Well, let me ask you this, Mario. Do you think he will play another down as a Seahawk?
Oh, no.
He's done.
That's done.
It's done, right?
That's done.
Okay. So he can serve as a leadership role, but not for the money probably he was looking to get. So, yeah, look, I feel bad for him, man. Look, I don't like the idea of the middle finger, but sometimes we use it when it's appropriate.
Sometimes the most appropriate response.
All right. Now I'm going to take you back to the NFL. See, I had to sneak that one in because the reason, and when I say back to the NFL, just covering other stories. And what we're going to do is this and see where it fits appropriate. I call it the grind. We're going to determine, Mario, whether It's an urgency, wake-up call, no big deal, or celebrate. I'll read off the line, and you just off the top of your head, you tell me, is it an urgency, wake-up call, no big deal, or celebrate? Oakland Raiders' first win for Gruden versus Browns, 45-42 overtime with controversial calls that went against them that got them this win. And it's not just one call. I saw a couple of calls where I said, oh, you guys are lucky. That's Cleveland in Oakland. Is that a celebration? No big deal? Wake-up call because it was so close, they lost only because of some controversial calls, or urgency because they got to play better?
No urgency. They're in a bad space right now. It's certainly not a reason, not something you can say no big deal.
Right.
I don't think it's a wake-up call only because they're aware and have been aware of where the situation is. So
Right.
there they go.
It's one of those things where you say they are who we thought they were, right?
So it appears.
Yeah, right. All right. Take you to the next one. Pittsburgh Steelers bell-less loss versus Ravens, 26-24. They're now 1-2-1. Urgency, wake-up call, no big deal. We just remove celebrate. Celebrate may be for the Ravens.
Yeah, urgency again, they seek to define their season. That's what this is really coming down to.
Right.
Whether or not they're going to be contending any kind of realistic way this season.
Right.
So it's up in the air.
Now, you do know the Cincinnati Bengals are the big dogs in their division, right?
Which,
Wait a minute.
why not thinking much of the whole division?
Right. Wait a minute. But Cincinnati always has a well, not always. Not hating on you, Cincinnati. But everybody waits for the playoffs to see what you're going to do. That's why. All right, not a big deal. Let's go to the next. All right. Titans defeat Eagles 26-23. That's Wentz now at quarterback. After defeating Jacksonville, the great defense, the previous week, 9-6. How come we're not talking about Tennessee?
Well, because no one really believes it. No, I don't believe it either. I don't believe they're as good as their record.
Oh, my God.
But I'm going to say let's celebrate.
Okay.
I mean, to celebrate limited way because you need to continue this.
Right.
And I'm not sure you can, but let's say, because it is what it is. Like Vic said, you have the numbers. I just think that we're just not believers.
You're fearing what everybody's saying. It's too early in the season.
Yeah, I'm just not a believer.
Right.
And I like Mariota a lot. Protect him, and let's see if he can last.
Right. And, of course, I think the part is this. I think Tennessee proved one thing. He says, look, we got a defense too. That's what they proved against Jacksonville. But somebody may say, well, they don't have much of an offense. Then if they come and play with Wentz, against Wentz with the Eagles, they're going to say, hey, we can score a little bit too. Then they're going to say, well, they're having Super Bowl hangover. Wait till they get later in the season. So there's room to pause it. But I'm gonna give props where props is due. Look, fearing that Tennessee doesn't run into injuries and Mariota can go out this whole season, I think Tennessee's better than people giving them credit because it's hard to deliver when your quarterback the last couple of seasons has been fighting against injuries. And maybe we're seeing the true Mariota at this time. Just give him the benefit of the doubt, man. All right, this is the one. If you're in New York, you're going to love this one. New York Giants, Saquon Barkley, and Odell Beckham. Hypeless, because all the hype was them preseason. The number one running back and number one receiver. And when I say that, I don't mean number one over Gurley, over Le'Veon Bell, but as what they call the 1-2 punch. Lost to the Saints. They're now 1-3. Now, just say this. Is it the coach? Is it Eli? Is it the offensive line that cannot protect Eli? There's got to be somewhere where you point the energy somewhere. Now, I can't blame Saquon Barkley because it's first year. Odell Beckham is who he is. He says, give me the ball. Eli Manning is not a scrambler, and everybody knows if you get to him, guess what? You disrupt him. And then the coach has to sit there and say, my offensive line, they're not doing the job they're supposed to be doing. At this point right now, I'm going to ask you a different question, Mark. Will this team play 500 ball for the remaining season? 8 wins, 8 losses, with Beckham and Saquon?
I don't know.
Is that urgency?
Yeah, their urgency also. Saquon looks good.
Okay.
We're sure from what we see that Odell Beckham can deliver. The other variables are kind of rough.
Yes.
And so once again, they don't appear at this point in time to have the talent. They have a lot of weak spots on the team.
Offensively, let me just say this because Mario's being nice right now.
They're the bottom of the division.
Yes.
And that's where they belong.
In a division now that's not as strong because Philadelphia is 2-2. Dallas now is up there because of their recent win. And now you have Washington who's playing about. They're almost all even, so there's no clear favorite.
And all of them way better, it appears, than the Giants.
Right, which means that while these other teams are still struggling to, get up to par, the Giants have a chance. They're 1-3. But if they go to 1-4, see, at the point where you sit there and say this, can a 500 team make it to the playoffs? Isn't that all dependent upon the division and beating themselves up? Will a 9-7 team win this division? No. I think the Eagles are going to be better, no matter what. So here's my thing. Who's the one that's going to lead them out of the promised land into, I guess, the promised land? Will it be Eli? Or will it be shockingly Saquon Barkley? Or will the coach make adjustments? Or will they just be the same?
Wow, that's a hard one, Vic.
Yeah, I'm just saying. Something has to change for them to turn the corner. And New York, I'm not sure how they're feeling about Eli when they know that their offensive line is like what Aaron Rodgers can go through. A few seasons ago, if nobody's protecting him, he's going down. That's fresh meat, man. That's easy. Okay, let me ask you this. One more, just going out. A healthy Aaron Rodgers on the team called the Giants with nobody else but him replacing Eli, how many games would they win this year?
They'd have the same problems.
You don't think that? So it would be. You're saying their quarterbacks would equalize each other?
No, I'm just saying it won't. It wouldn't. He would get beat up, and so that wouldn't solve the problem.
Right. Okay. I got you because I think beat up is beat up. I think
you
get beat up.
Beat up is beat up.
Okay. All right. Time to take you guys over to a place where, for all of you guys who are in BattleTech, there was a recent round of 16 where the favorite got his ass put down. Now I'm gonna show you something here. From last season, the number 1 and 2 championship run was between Tombstone, who you see flipping that blade in the red, and Bronco, who just jettisons you. When you get near him, he just tosses you way out. So here's the problem. In the round of 16 recently, both of them got upset in their first round appearances. So the two that everybody was waiting for to meet up are now gone, which leaves that there's two formidable players, one who won the championship, I think 2 years ago, Bike Force. Bike Force is like a lowrider with small little wheels. I mean, there's no space in between the ground. And when you look at him, or it, you literally go, what's his power? The power is the lower you are to the ground, the harder it is for them to lift you. So he stays low. And so what you see here with, say, Tombstone, one of the things that goes against Tombstone, the blade is off the ground enough that if it hits something, it launches him. And so he lost, or Tombstone lost, because his chain broke. Bronco found out that the trick with the younger people in battle pots is speed. The navigation between the bigger, more powerful, I guess you could say, battle bots like these two, they don't have speed. So how did Bronco lose? He lost easy because somebody got next to him and stayed on the side of him. Scroll down, I want to show you some more, just give you an idea. Give you an idea of what, why I'm in this. That's Bite Force in the white. Small, got the low to the ground. So when he runs into you with that wedge spinner, it literally launches you, and it works with speed. If you want to get another idea, scroll down, or scroll up, I'm sorry, Mario, to the next frame. The next frame shows you Whiplash, who is going to be battling Bite Force, who I just showed you. Speed. They know how to chase the bigger bots and get underneath them. So this championship is coming up, you guys. So I'm just letting you know, for those of you who are into BattleTech, yes, have I been watching it? Absolutely. Is it gaining steam? Absolutely. And because you don't have to worry about concussions. So we all good at this. So here's my point. If you guys want to go check out the updated website, go to battlebots.com, where you can actually see where they have the brackets, who they're playing, the dates, and what's coming up. This Wednesday, you're going to see a new round of competition. I'm not going to tell you anything else. I'm just saying right now, Bite Force is looking to come back, that small little bot, come back and get another championship. All I want to do is give you a little something. I'm not trying to give you a lot. I just got to go and close this out on college football, because I think Mario, he will give some insight on this next one. So I'm going to take you over down to the report that only deals with one issue. Alabama's number one. The issue is, please don't talk about it. Because why? They are clearly the number one. So I'm not going to get into Ohio State winning, Clemson. Who cares? Who's stepping up to Alabama? So far, no one. But if you want to get somebody pissed off and get them riled up, then you do what Jimbo Fisher did. He grabs his players by the face mask. So wait a minute. Here's the killer. You're only seeing the picture. You have to see the actual video. I tried to find something with a temporary okay without copyright. Couldn't find it. One of the former Super Bowl players, I believe, no, the coach. I can't remember which coach he was. He formerly was the coach of the New York Jets. He lost a lot of weight. I forgot he was on Hard Knocks, the whole thing. He said, if that was my kid, and he was grabbing him, he said, I'd be coming down to the locker room. So let me just say this, Mario. Are we past the days where you literally go, you can't grab?
I thought we were.
And if that's the case, should he be reprimanded for this, or does he get a pass?
Well, that's up to the schools, really. I mean, there's no global standards that have been actually reached out and formally, embraced in that way.
Right.
But maybe there will be after that. For example, I don't know that the NCAA has any kind of a policy.
Right.
And that's one of the first places I guess you would look. So, but it's a bad look.
Wait a minute.
How's
Wait
that?
a minute.
It's a bad look.
Wait a minute. Let me tell you now
look.
who's getting a bad rap. Everybody gets on Nick Saban. They said, man, he looked like he's mad all the time. I can't imagine. Now, Jimbo Fisher, nice interview. He's all jovial and everything. I guess you could turn around and go.
Like Kavanaugh, I like beer.
Right. Nick Saban going, you guys thought I was the badass. But let me go show you that Jimbo Fisher, who be all great interviews, loving, I guess he gets pissed off. Now, who do you send your children to play with? Who do you have more confidence in? Texas A&M Jimbo Fisher or Nick Saban at Alabama? Mario, you about to send your 18-year-old. He's already got a scholarship. You're going, who's the best coach? Who do you send him to?
I like beer.
So you're not doing it, dude.
Nick Saban.
Right, Nick Saban. There you go.
They're both nuts. I'd let my child choose their poison.
Yeah, that's right. All right, you guys. Hey, look, I'm just going to give you guys an announcement on this because I don't have time to cover it all. The Major League playoffs are going on right now. You actually have these playoff games, especially in the in our division here with Colorado Rockies at LA Dodgers. That's going to be at 1:10 p.m. our time. By the time you guys see this video, it's already going to be done. Milwaukee Brewers at Chicago Cubs, they're already playing. They started about an hour and a half ago. And then, of course, you got the playoffs in the other division. So I'm just letting you guys know locally here because everybody's interested in the Dodgers and see what they're going to do. And this is just to see who gets the wild card or who wins the division. Both teams, whichever teams lose, they battle for the wild card itself. Those who win, they win their division. So it's like the playoffs before the playoffs, you guys. So hope, we'll see who's the badass. Right now, I say Milwaukee Brewers are the hot streak. Watch them as they go through this. Chicago's got the best record in of course, in the divisions. But watch Milwaukee. They're pretty stout. I'm out, man.
New Sports. Victor Allen's New Sports, written and directed by the bald-headed black man, Like we say, rub his head and make a wish. The ladies have nicknamed him Sexual Chocolate every week. A recurring segment of the Morning Cup with Mario show. Join him, dress appropriately, cotton underwear, jock straps, and sports bras. Yes! Come on, y'all. It's that time, y'all. Get ready for the hot picks.
Okay, the last segment, we close this Monday out at least for the live show, you guys. Thanks for staying around. Hope you enjoyed the sports. About to go over to what I call Legacy TV. And when I say Legacy TV, it's about empowerment, information, recognition, and specifically what I call my hot picks, where you go the legacy that is made by those who you may recognize and may not, and if not so, by introducing them, you may decide, let me go check it out. I call this the Ladies of Legacy TV. It's either the show, the actress, the role. If you don't know neither of those choices, you may say, let me go check them out. So Mario and I are the only ones in the room. So a lot of times asking questions may be a point where we go, you know what, I haven't checked out that show. Now that you brought this up, let's go check them out and see if they make an impact. And there are certain ones that Mario can go, oh yeah, that's her. And if it's not, it's somebody else. Yes, will I be doing the men as well? Yes, separate segment. So Mario, you're getting ready to see if you follow any of these shows. And some are shows that have already been out for a few seasons, and some are more recent, and some are this year, of course. All depends on what you call this year and season. So we're going to start you off so you can say, hey, look, you know what? That's a player. That's not. Let's take it to the lady that Mario tends to always say, you know, she has something in her swag. Naturi Naughton plays Tasha St. Patrick on Power. Have you been impacted by Tasha St. Patrick, or have you yet to check out how she rolls?
I'm a newcomer, Vic.
Newcomer.
But she won me over.
Oh, wait. So you have to really go see
She got great shoulders.
Yeah, you know what? See, I'm trying to keep. This is about empowerment.
Wonderful
See,
shoulders.
you need to go check her out, man. She plays a role. You know what? And I keep forgetting about this. Didn't she start off being a singer? I can't remember. I'll
take your word for it.
Yeah, take your word. You're right. Just see, this is not rating. So this is the part. Well, I suggest because one of the questions we're going to be dealing with here is that whose role will be one that makes up a legacy that when you go back, she will be even more powerful looking back. Because sometimes you don't catch them in the beginning. Let me take you to someone else because I know Mario definitely watches this young lady or has watched this young lady. Dasha Polanco plays Dayanara Diaz of Orange is the New Black. Mario, have you watched Orange is the New Black?
I have, but she looks different here than she does on Orange is the New Black.
And what is it that's different?
Everything.
Wait a minute. Did she make an impact on you in the role she played?
Well, the whole show is so well done.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
But yes, she does, and she makes an impact here too.
Mario,
that's what they call it today.
Wait.
They call it impact today.
Wait a minute. Okay, let me say this. Let me say this, man. What does she have an indelible role that will live in infamy, or is it just her presence? That she just got one of those screen presences that's just there, or is it that you just the show got you?
Well, I think you need something out back to drive what's up front.
Oh Lord, okay, we already know where he's going. Right? This will make everybody else happy. Okay, this is a good one, dude. That's a good. Let's go.
What can I say?
Let's go. Okay, the show that's been out for a couple of seasons. Let's roll it up. Great name for this young lady. She became somewhat famous in Deadpool. Zazie Betts plays Van of Atlanta. If you check her out, if you haven't checked out the show, Atlanta being kind of the show, will you go watch the show more? Because I don't know if you check out Atlanta.
But I checked out Deadpool. No. Yeah, that's natural. That's what they call that good natural.
Okay. So
nipples pointed upward.
Okay, you know what?
You only get that.
It's a Me Too movement going on right now. They're gonna feel like
still a man.
You know what, dude? I'm giving her props.
Heterosexual.
You have to first of all, her Deadpool presence really sold her. Now I'm not saying she's doing good at it's a totally different show. I'm suggesting Mario check this one out too. And
I will.
For the other reasons, okay? For the other reasons. Let me just do that. All right. Let's take you to the next because I don't want to dwell too much because Mario has to say, hey, this is the one. Now, you can't go nowhere unless you say Tracy Ellis Ross plays Rainbow Johnson of Blackish. Now, Mario, you've checked out Blackish.
Yeah, I've checked out Tracy for years.
Right.
And here she's showing out some great back.
Okay, so wait a minute. So what about the role she's playing?
That too.
You know what?
I wanted to make sure I covered the important stuff first.
See, when I comment, when I go into Trump, I give him specifics. All he's doing, I'm really not paying attention to the show.
The testosterone thing.
Okay, so I say this is a thumbs up, right?
Thumbs up.
Okay, so far I failed you guys in getting something that may have a show impact, an actor's impact, the role impact. I'm just looking for one. So hopefully we can get there. I'm going to take Mario over to somebody whose name where I said, well, you got a great name. They'll go, we're going to use part of that name. And that name is Issa Rae. And Issa Rae plays Issa D of Insecure. And I know Mario watches Insecure.
Yeah, I sure do.
You sure do, don't you?
And I care if she's gorgeous.
Oh, thank you.
I'm a fan of her.
What about the role? How do you like how
I'm a fan of the role.
Oh, you like
Even
that?
though
okay,
it's problematic as a woman, that's the whole point of it. But loving it.
Okay, now for those who may or may not, because remember, some people may not be really saying, hey, I haven't seen this show. You say it's problematic.
Well, you get to watch her struggle as a modern woman with relationships.
So she has the relationship issues or...
relationships with issues.
With issues, okay.
She has a hotation.
So wait a minute. So she's selling the role she's playing.
I'm just saying she's a modern woman with taking advantage of her choices.
Yeah. You know what? It sounds kind of cloudy, but I think what Mario's saying. He said,
You can't throw stones.
can't throw
Throw
stones.
stones in
Okay.
a glass house.
Okay. Well, let me okay, no problem. Interesting enough with Mario, with you saying that, it makes you want to go and watch it. Because I've only watched a few episodes. So I'm going to go and follow it even more.
I watched the whole,
The whole thing. So, okay.
Season 3 now.
Okay, all right. Let me go over to the next. Yolanda Ross. If you guys don't know her name, you know that she plays Jada Washington of The She. Now, I always say, when you're just keeping it natural and real, what she's doing right here. If you haven't watched it yet, Mario, it was a lot of talk about it. It reminds me of The Orange New Black in the way that they talked about it. And it says, let me go check out a couple of shows. If you haven't, should you?
Well, you should.
Okay. Okay. So you thinking that you may take? See, I don't think you can get Mario off of Insecure. I think he's like stuck.
Well, I may be stuck, but like most men, I can be fickle.
Right. So maybe that's a good one. I like that, dude. You saving yourself by putting all us in. Most men can be fickle. I got that. That's a compliment to you and I right now. That's a good one.
PMC throws it. He says she's cute.
She's good, PMC. Now
he gave her a 9.
See, the reason why I stayed away from the numbers lately is because I didn't want people to get away from their professional work.
And you're objectifying women.
Right. I don't want to.
Asshole.
I want them to go check her out because
Take that.
Still most of the shows are still male dominated. Okay, so there's enough room for them all. What we're trying to do is show that the women got staying power as well. So Mario's and PMC are on the same page. Obviously, they tweet together. So anyway, yes.
I know what that means.
Let's go to the next one. The next one, I know Mario's seen this. Antoinette Robertson plays Coco of Dear White People. Now, I'm not going to even say anything. I'm going to let Mario
She's
just
bad.
Okay, that's good to know. Have you checked? Have you watched Dear White People?
Yes, I have.
Have you been impacted by the role she's playing, or you say, hey, you know what?
Once again, that term impacted. But I guess interpreting it as I do. Yes, I was, Nick. I was impacted.
Liz, thank you. Insecure is a good show. Thank you. It's hard to pull that teeth out of Mario because he's thinking about Uruguay and who he could take. Oh, I'm sorry. I wasn't supposed to say that. My bad. So thank you, Liz, for chiming in. Okay, look, the show, these are great shows. And in the last couple of years, I wonder if these shows, unless they stay around, if you're lucky enough to stay around for 10 years, which is very, very kind of, it's like an X-File, you hope that looking back that, hey, they played these roles that were iconic. So I'm going to roll back when it's time to see if Mario can pick the one he thinks will be iconic. Let's go on to one other and remaining before we choose who we think plays the role or the show that impacts you the greatest. Antoinette Robertson. She literally plays Kara Fowdy of Black Lightning. Now, I don't think Mario's checked out Black Lightning yet.
I have checked out Black Lightning.
You have? I'm wrong.
Yeah, because Warner Brothers is
yes.
Shelly Shells.
That's our girl, Shelly Shell. That PR, communications.
That's right.
Everything else. Okay. Have you checked out Kara Fowdy's role?
I have, Vic.
How do you feel, man?
I feel impacted. Once again, it's happened more often than before. So I want you to know, save me $10.
So far, people are going, I'm about to watch this segment so I can go be pushed towards the show.
So you too could be impacted.
Okay, but women are watching.
$10.
Women are watching the show too. I just got Liz. Liz, you think that's helping her to sit back and say that all you're doing is I'm a typical man, I'm impacted, that's it. That's not helping Liz go, oh man,
I didn't know I had to help you, Liz, but
she's going to say you need to go watch that show.
I help you by saying, now you know what impacts me.
Okay.
See, now you know, Liz.
So
you know what impacts me.
And let me just say this. let me be real. I am not trying to say that we should be deep way into the roles. I do believe that people are going to holler at me and say, well, hey, look, you know, whatever the reason, it's like looking at the fans for Women of the Rock who say, hey, look, I just can't wait to look at him. And they're happy. So Mario's making a good point. Hey, you know what? This is who I am. I watched the show for this reason. That's good, Mario. Now we're going to go up the list, take it down. And Mario, based on what you've observed and what you have known, if you had to turn around and say, I believe this show or this role or the actress will live on as a greater legacy, just a guess. Let's see what you think. Let's take it from the top.
Starting from the top, Notori Naughton.
Power, man.
Power.
That's just a show. That's it. You know, that's it. It wins.
Dasha Polanco. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Zazie Beetz.
Mm-hmm.
Natural. Tracy Ross Ellis. Blackish.
Mm-hmm.
Issa Rae.
Insecure.
Yolanda Ross.
The She.
Antoinette Robinson.
Dear White People.
And finally, excuse me, you had the wrong. And Cara Fowley. Of Black Lightning.
Black Lightning. All right. So, based on the shows you've seen, is there a role that you could say, hey, look, this person affected me, the role, or even if how they look?
I think Issa Rae, because she's a writer,
okay,
director too.
Right.
She's very special.
Okay, good. So, Issa Rae. You know what? I picked her in the. I had two spots. I picked Issa Rae as one of them. Definitely.
So that definitely makes her special to me.
Right.
Now, also special to me is Antoinette Robertson.
All right. Okay. Okay. No, that's
because she personally appeals to my nature.
We got close. Okay, Dear White People. Okay, that's good. That's good. You know what? I think the show that probably for different reasons may, I think Power is so powerful in this show and this whole total casting and everything. I do believe Blackish probably will be a name because of different reasons, because how it's made and because its name, it's Blackish, kind of is in contrast to what they're doing and everything. That her role may stand out more, even though I believe the newcomers in the game are yet to be determined. But who am I to say? My favorite watching Power. Man, it's not. But does that mean Naturi is going to have this staying role that's just going to be a legacy for her? I can't make the guess on that, man. It's a good show. So for me, I hope all of you guys go check it out. That's my hot picks. I'm done. Mario's going to South America.
Yes. I want to thank you all for tuning in. It's been a wonderful day indeed here at Morning Coffee with Mario. Live streaming everywhere, Facebook, Twitch, YouTube, all that good stuff. And you know what we say. Ain't nobody got our DNA. Thank you, PMC. Thank you all the folks for tuning in. Thank you, Lizette. Hey. Max. My brother.
Favorite MC.
What's happening, y'all? Breathe to that breathe. Come on.
First off, I'm not your regular dude. I bust moves like a young MC. Yeah, sorta, that would be me. Got me thinking about putting down the mic one day. Then I get some more love. Thanks for the love you gotta play. Hey, what can I say? I'm a Leo to the finish, man. I love God, so my faith won't diminish, man. Once I step up to the mic, I speak truth. Hip-hop wasn't designed to expose the black youth, but somewhere along the lines, we dropped the ball, yeah. I mean, that man in the mirror, yeah, that ball dude. But now I'm back to right the wrongs of my past world. So let me walk this off my list like my name is Earl. Articulate my thoughts clearly like Professor Les. Do you remember Rap City with Deja and Les? I'm looking at the front door, bless the main source. You fool, yeah, wait till I hit you with the main course. I was spitting when you was a kid, you doing what I did. You know I still got it, why you brag about it? I be on the solo, making my monies grow residual. I'm individual, nobody's got my DNA. I I was spitting when you was a kid. You doing what I did, you know I still got it. Why you brag about it? I be on it solo, making my money's grow residual. I'm individual, nobody's got my DNA. I'd rather listen to Tribe or shit alone. You like my raps, but really I write songs. I like to do it like this once in a while to show some versatility and make you all smile. It's been a long time coming, I know, I feel it too. The more I take a break, it's like the more I break through. With my timeless space boy funk, I'm on point. And bless this microphone every time I anoint the pen, the pad. I face the bad head on. Escape inside the music, see my diary's a song it's on. Till I write my next verse, then I go again into the studio. I feel I gotta flow again. This ain't just music to me, it's like my recipe. To be honest, it's more creative tranquility. This ain't just music to me, it's like my recipe. To be honest, it's more creative tranquility. I was spitting when you was a kid. You doing what I did, you know I still got it. Why you brag about it? I be on the solo, making my money's grow residual. I'm individual, nobody's got my DNA. I was spitting when you was a kid. You doing what I did, you know I still got it. Why you brag about it? I be on the solo, making my money's grow residual. I'm individual, nobody's got my DNA. They say they get me, I don't think they ever got me. My name's Kowalski, but they call me Kawasaki. Online I'm funds, but in real life I'm more like Chachi or Cola. I told you, I'm funky like granola. Bars, can't you see that I'm a star? Who pumps his own gas in the cold really fast? As I pass on your gold digging stash. I'd rather make my own money, not advance me loan money. Nope. I was spitting when you was a kid. You doing what I did, you know I still got it. Why you brag about it? I be on the solo, making my money's grow residual. I'm individual, nobody's got my DNA. I was spitting when you was a kid. You doing what I did, you know I still got it. Why you brag about it? I be on the solo, making my money's grow residual. I'm individual, nobody's got my DNA. So there you have it. Nobody's got my DNA. Nobody's got my DNA. Nobody's got my DNA.
Alexa, begin playlist broadcast transition.
Your playlist, Broadcast Transition, on Amazon Music.